We spend so much of our lives trying to remember things, names, dates, little facts for trivia night. We're always told that forgetting is a failure, right? Like it's some frustrating bug in our mental software. But what if I told you that the things you forget are actually more important than the things you remember?
Yeah, let's just flip that entire idea on its head for a minute. Get ready, because we're about to discover how your brain strategically deletes information. And this isn't by accident. It's an active process that literally sculpts the reality you experience every single day.
So let's dive right into the central paradox. Is forgetting a flaw we all need to fix, or is it one of the most sophisticated, brilliant features of our own intelligence?
Okay, let's break this down. On one side, you have the common view we all kind of grow up with. Forgetting is a failure, a bug, a sign that you're losing a step. But on the other side, we have this new reality that neuroscientists are uncovering. And it's a total game changer. Forgetting isn't passive decay, it's an active, adaptive function. It's a core feature that keeps our minds flexible and efficient. The key takeaway here, your brain actually works hard to forget.
The writer Jorge Luis Borges captured this idea perfectly with his character Funes the Memorious. This was a guy who could forget absolutely nothing. And you know what? It was a curse. He was completely buried under an avalanche of useless details, unable to think, unable to generalize. He basically couldn't function. A perfect memory would be a prison, not a superpower. So how does this all actually work? Let's get into the science of it, because it's pretty wild. Your brain isn't just letting memories fade away, it's actively tearing them down. It actually uses up energy to do this. And that brings us to this key concept, active forgetting. You gotta think of it like a highly skilled editor, not a faulty hard drive. It's a deliberate, organized, and incredibly selective process. Its whole goal is to clear out the junk to make you smarter and more adaptable. Now, what's really fascinating is when you compare this to artificial intelligence. Some AI models, when they learn a new task, they can suffer from something called catastrophic forgetting. Basically, the new information completely wipes out the old stuff. Our brains, though, way more elegant. We use selective forgetting to protect our core knowledge while carefully weaving in new information. We update, we don't just overwrite. So how does the brain pull this off? Researchers have found a few key mechanisms, a lot of them happening deep inside our memory centers, like the hippocampus. You've got decay, which is kind of like a regulated cleanup that happens a lot while we sleep. Then there's interference, where competing memories basically block each other. And then there's my favorite, retrieval-induced forgetting. This one is wild. The very act of remembering one thing can actively suppress and make you forget related, competing things. It turns out remembering is a double-edged sword. So why does our brain go to all this trouble? Well, to really get the benefits, we can think of forgetting as playing three crucial, almost heroic roles in our minds: the guardian, the librarian, and the inventor. First up, let's talk about the guardian. This is the part of forgetting that protects our emotional well-being and helps us craft a coherent story of who we are. The guardian is absolutely essential for our mental health. What it does is it dulls the sharp emotional edges of painful memories. This is what allows us to heal from trauma, to forgive people, and just move forward without being chained to every single past mistake or hurt. Its ultimate virtue is serenity. It lets us build a stable, positive sense of who we are. Okay, next up, we have the librarian. This is the hyper-efficient manager of your mind's vast and, let's be honest, cluttered archives. So, the librarian's job is to keep your mental database current and useful. It's constantly throwing out the mundane details, like what did you have for breakfast 3 Tuesdays ago, just to reduce the clutter. It updates old information, like where you used to park your car, so you can actually find it today. This whole process prevents something called mnemonic overfitting, which is just a fancy way of saying you get stuck on old data that's not useful anymore. The result? Mental clarity. And finally, we have the most surprising role of them all, the inventor. This is where forgetting becomes the secret ingredient to creativity and innovation. The inventor is what helps us think outside the box. It does this by breaking what psychologists call mental fixation. You know, that feeling when your mind gets stuck on an obvious but totally wrong solution. By actively forgetting those misleading ideas, your brain clears a path for new, creative insights to pop up. Its virtue is pure inspiration. Let me show you exactly how this works. Here's a classic creative puzzle. It's called the remote associates test.
Take a look at these three words: same, tennis, and head. Can you find a single word that connects all of them? Go on, I'll give you a second to think about it.
So here's the trick. Your first instincts were probably to think twin for same, ball for tennis, or master for head, right? To solve the puzzle, you have to actively forget or push aside those strong but incorrect ideas. The solution is match. Match game, tennis match, match head. See? You only get there by letting go of the obvious.
And that little puzzle just brilliantly illustrates our final point. Forgetting isn't just about deleting files from your brain. It's a fundamentally creative act. It's an act of sculpting. I love this idea. It's like a sculptor carving away unnecessary stone to reveal the beautiful statue that was hidden inside. By strategically removing the outdated, the irrelevant, and the painful stuff, your brain constructs a reality that's navigable, meaningful, and coherent. So here's the whole thing in a nutshell. Forgetting is your brain's hidden superpower. It is an active feature that grants you serenity, that ensures you have mental clarity, and that sparks your creativity. It is not a failure to remember, it's a success in adapting. And that leaves us with one last, really pressing question for our modern world. Our technology, our phones, the internet, it's all designed to remember everything forever. But if forgetting is what makes us serene and clear-headed and creative, what essential parts of our humanity do we risk losing in a world that never, ever forgets?